coming up on Small Town Big Deal.
Here we go, Ferdinand.
Hold on tight for the bronco-bustin', gun-blazing action of Dodge City days.
How this historic town put the wild in the Wild West.
This is where Bat Masterson and Wyatt Earp met.
And the city's enduring ties to a TV classic.
The expression, get out of Dodge, actually comes from Gunsmoke.
Hold on, buddy, hold on. Yeah.
So pour yourself an ice-cold sarsaparilla and enjoy the red-hot show.
Welcome to Small Town Big Deal. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl.
You know, Dodge City, Kansas is known as the queen of the cowtowns when the West was wild.
And when the lawmen were the stuff of legends, and the longhorns still go down Main Street? You won't hear these horns honking, but what a sight. More than 100 burly bovine steer their way down Wyatt Earp Boulevard. This unique cattle drive is just one of the can't-miss highlights of Dodge City days.
Right now, we're gonna raise a record!
The 10-day event kicked off in 1960 to celebrate the town's historic role in the Old West. Located just a 2.5-hour drive from Wichita, the Dodge City Days Festival culminates with a riding, roping, wrangling rodeo roundup.
The very first time it was really celebrated was back in 1939. The premiere of the movie Dodge City with Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland actually happened here in Dodge. They had a huge celebration and put on a big rodeo, and we like to think that was kind of the beginnings of Dodge City Days.
Yeah. We're the second largest public festival in the state of Kansas. About 100,000 people come through Dodge City in a 10-day period. And for a town of our size of about 30,000 people, it's big.
For someone who's never come to Dodge City before, why would you tell them to come, and especially during Dodge City days?
We have the history that hardly anybody else has, and we like to think that we do the best we can at telling that story and helping people learn the story of Dodge. Dodge City has always been notorious even from its earliest days. It was started in 1872. The first couple years of its existence, we had about 600 people, but we had 16 saloons.
Oh, wow.
Any churches or schools?
Later on, there was.
Not yet.
Yes, so this is where Bat Masterson and Wyatt Earp met and became friends, and one off-season, Wyatt Earp went to Texas and brought a new friend back, Doc Holliday. We had a lot of notorious names here that really helped put Dodge City on the map.
These iconic figures still loom large in Dodge City with statues and streets named in their honor. Here they are playing cards in the Gunfighters Wax Museum. And this could get ugly. And at the Boot Hill Museum, you can become part of the Old West.
Ready, 1, 2, and 3. Ready, 1, 2, and 3.
You know we couldn't resist stepping back in time ourselves.
Are we doing a scene or are we just taking a picture?
We're gonna take a picture, but I want it to be real. And let me tell you, it's a whole lot safer inside the museum than outside on Front Street, where you might get caught up in a gun-blazing shootout.
This is a replica of what Front Street really was.
The original Front Street was located just a few blocks away, and look at how they recreated it, right down to the prickly ash bitter stand.
I want to show you something that's kind of unique about Dodge City. It's right inside this door here.
Oh yeah? Can we go in?
Absolutely.
You'll even find authentic remnants from the past inside the bank and the print shop, where making a newspaper took some muscle.
Pick that roller up or a side of it. Yeah, see what we're up against.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Even typesetting was a tricky business.
Every letter had to be backwards. So there's a couple fun things that come from that. If you've ever heard mind your P's and Q's, well, a P looks like a Q when you go to print it.
Yeah.
All of these Dodge City experiences help us retrace history, but the most iconic takes us back to those legendary longhorns. They're retracing the historic Great Western Cattle Trail, But this year, they're creating their own Boulevard buffet.
They thought the trees and the landscape here in Dodge City looked mighty tasty.
They did. We tried to keep them off of it. We weren't real successful with that. So there's some flowers I need to apologize to the city of Dodge City about.
This moment is brought to you by Jan's love of longhorns, because I don't think we got to see enough of those bad boys.
Their rugged charm seems to captivate just about everybody.
And while you feast your eyes on these guys, here's a fun fact. Both male and female longhorns have horns, and those horns can span over 10 feet wide.
How do they not poke each other?
They do sometimes.
Okay, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
You'll see some scars on them occasionally. They know exactly where the tips of those horns are, but that happens sometimes.
It does happen. Sometimes on purpose, maybe.
Probably so. These cattle, they have it the best. You know, all they have to do is eat grass and get on the truck and walk down the street and go back and eat grass. Again, it's a great story for them. If I come back as a bovine, I want to be one of these guys.
Yeah. And they know how to maneuver their head to get in the trailer and
Yeah,
stuff
you'll
like
see
that. Oh, so he's turning his head right now. Oh my goodness.
Look at that!
That is amazing to me.
They'll walk right in there. They're ready to go home.
The Longhorns may be saying happy trails, but we're just getting started. Still ahead, can Jan can.
And we're gonna start kicking now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And will anyone go the distance on these wild bucking bulls?
Oh, big dog.
You're watching Small Town Big Deal.
Yeehaw!
It's time for the campaign!
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal, where Dodge City, Kansas is celebrating its historic roots and living up to its Wild West reputation.
There's no doubt the town's enduring popularity owes a big tip of the cowboy hat to one of the longest-running and most beloved TV dramas.
Gunsmoke, starring...
How big an influence was this one's favorite TV show on the town?
The years that Gunsmoke was on TV, there was some years they say we had up to 400,000 people visit Dodge City.
So, a bit of trivia. In 1955, John Wayne comes on camera and introduces his good friend James Arness and the brand new series, Gunsmoke.
I think it's the best thing of its kind that's come along. I hope you'll agree with me.
James Arness was the series' leading man, portraying Dodge City's marshal, Matt Dillon, for decades.
But the fewer people come into Dodge, the less trouble they bring. People didn't come here, you wouldn't have a job.
You know, in my generation, Dodge City is synonymous with Gunsmoke and
Right.
Matt Dillon. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
And good overcoming evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many may not realize that James Arness was also a war hero. He was injured very severely in the Battle of Angio and suffered with those injuries the rest of his life. He received the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star for his service during World War II.
You have to admire Rodney's passion for all things Gunsmoke, but sometimes he's just a little too quick on the draw.
So in the 1800s,
Gunsmoke had many deputies through the years, but how many of you knew that Burt Reynolds was the deputy for a while?
as I was saying, in the 1800s, more than 40...
The expression, get out of Dodge, actually comes from Gunsmoke.
Why don't you get out of Dodge while you're still alive?
It's kind of cute how much you love Gunsmoke, Rodney, but just let me get this one out. Okay, so just in the 1880s, there were more than 4 million longhorn that were driven from Texas to the railhead here in Dodge City. Okay, Rodney, let's hear some more Gunsmoke trivia.
Festus's mule was named Ruth.
Of course, Gunsmoke was also famous for Miss Kitty, the confident and kind-hearted owner of the Long Branch Saloon, immortalized by actress Amanda Blake.
The character is believed to be based on dance hall singer Dora Hand.
When she got to Dodge, all the men just fell in love with her because she was beautiful and she sang.
Sadly, Dora met a tragic end when a jealous lover accidentally shot her dead.
So Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson and Bill Tillman and several others formed a posse. So when they caught up to him and said, "You're under arrest for killing Dora Hand," he was devastated. He had no idea. He said, "I wish you just would have shot me dead because now I have to live with killing the woman that I loved."
These days, Dodge City has its own Miss Kitty, who entertains all who come to her variety show. But only Rodney gets a special honor as she appoints him the sheriff.
Hey, Sheriff, you know what
The Can-Can is a high-kicking highlight of the show, and we feel pretty special when we get treated to a private performance just across the street, where Rodney gets to wet his whistle the old West way.
So I'm waiting for the show to begin, and I'm going to have my very first sarsaparilla. And thank you, Zane.
You're welcome.
Now that is really good. I mean, it tastes like root beer, and I love root beer.
Oh, it's frilly because you want to show off your frills.
Yes. While I get to kick back, Jen gets all ruffled with a private can-can lesson.
The can-can originated in Paris, France in the early 19th century.
And was it considered sort of risque back in the day?
Yes, so the ladies of the time didn't show their wrists, their ankles, let alone their whole chest and their arms. So here at Dodge City...
You need to be arrested.
That's funny because actually the can-can wasn't allowed north of the tracks, and most of the time the sheriff and his deputies would actually raid the dance halls and try to arrest the can-can dancers.
Well, let's hope there's no raid, because there's no skirting around me giving it just a little try.
And then you're gonna go backwards 4 steps, and you're gonna scoop up your skirt at the same time. Ready? So.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And we're gonna start kicking now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you bring your right knee up, and then put it back down, and then you're gonna kick your whole leg up, and then back down.
Jen is so good. She gets it on the first try. That's my co-host.
The girls were so patient teaching me the can-can, but I think if I'm to do it again, I will do it in the privacy of my own home with the shades down. But it's a good workout.
When we come back, it's rodeo time. But who's braver, the bull-riding grown-ups or these mini mutton busters?
Hold on, buddy, hold on. Looking good. Yes, look at this. Yeah.
But first, a small-town big deal quiz. How many people got their kicks in the largest can-can dance ever? 657, 822, or 1,503?
The answer when we come right back. Now the answer to our small-town big deal quiz. How many people got their kicks in the largest can-can dance ever? The answer, 1,503.
The record was set in Glasgow, Scotland in 2009. Nearly 10,000 people participated in the event, but not everybody could keep up with the mandatory 5 minutes of non-stop dancing. I told you it's a workout.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal. We're still in Dodge City, Kansas, where the Roundup Rodeo is about to begin.
We're wearing pink in support of breast cancer awareness.
The Roundup busted out of the gate as part of Dodge City Days in 1977, and it's grown to more than 700 entries. Some of the best cowboys and cowgirls in the country come here to compete for the richest payout in the state of Kansas.
Help me, Dodge City!
What's awesome about rodeo is it's such a family sport. It don't matter if you're 6, 66, or 96. You can bring the grandkids, you can bring grandma here. It's so family friendly. If you want to see a truly man versus beast, you get to see it. If you want to see fast horses like race horses, you get to see it. You want to see small kids riding sheep, you get to see it.
Yeah! Hold on, buddy, hold on. Looking good. Yes, look at this. Yeah!
These courageous kids are doing what's called mutton busting. Although most of the time, it's the mutton that wins. But these future champs bounce right back up.
Good try.
Every event offers something amazing to see.
So I am in awe of the barrel racers. I mean, how they cut that corner, that is awesome.
There you go. Riding for the lead.
So, Jen, who are you pulling for?
You know, I'm pulling for everybody to stay safe, man and animal and clown.
That would be this clown, John Harrison. His job is to keep the riders safe. He does that by spending most of the rodeo in a barrel.
The barrel is actually an island of safety for the cowboy. I'll slap the barrel, getting the bull's attention. I duck down, I push against the side, letting the bull hit me, letting that cowboy take a run for the fence.
Oh, big dog. So have you ever got hurt?
The announcer and the sound guy is about the only person that don't get hurt. Yeah, I've had 2 knee reconstructions, shoulder surgery, knee to hip, got 2 herniated discs at C1, like up top, like, you know, you just get hurt.
Here in Dodge City, it's all about the Wild West. But here at the Roundup, they also offer the Mild West.
That's right. It's an exceptional rodeo for some very special kids.
Up, around, throw. Woo! You got it!
The exceptional rodeo gives those with special needs between the ages of 1 and 21 the chance to be a cowboy or cowgirl.
Yeah.
John is also here rustling up some fun with his nifty rope tricks.
That's right, buddy.
The Perfect Fit Foundation created this special rodeo, but does so much more.
Perfect Fit Foundation was started by a group of moms with kids with special needs. My own son has autism, and my family is from Dodge City. We are rooted in Dodge City, but there are no services for kids with special needs out in this part of the country or this part of the state even. And so it was very important to us to make sure that our son got the services he needed.
You've done this before.
Seeing the kids so engaged and flourish right before your eyes is heartwarming.
There you go.
They want to be a princess. You are a princess, girl.
When you saw the kids' faces today on the horse, roping, what did you see and what did your heart say to you?
So when I see their smiles, it pulls at my mommy strings a little bit, where I start to say, I know that Dax, my son, is having a great time, and I see these smiles, and I know that all of these kids are too, because they are not going to get this opportunity in the real arena, most likely. They're not going to get this opportunity to maybe even to touch a horse, let alone ride one, or learn how to rope, or ever ride a bull.
Yeah.
You were providing inclusion.
Absolutely, that's our main goal.
Inclusion, inclusion, inclusion.
Yes, ma'am.
You comfortable?
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna kind of stand beside you.
Okay, I don't mind.
Is that a good deal?
They want to do the same things their other kids want to do. And we want those other kiddos to know they're just like you.
Yeah.
They just need a little extra help.
The horse was kind of smooth, right?
Yes.
You look great up there.
Thank you.
And that smile really does say it all. We'll be right back.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Small Town Big Deal, and we'd like to give a special tip of Jan's hat to Dodge City Days for keeping the Wild West memories alive.
Indeed. Now, usually in an episode, I know Rodney's favorite part, but I'm sort of torn between your Gunsmoke memories and those fabulous longhorns.
It's definitely my childhood memories of Gunsmoke, and it's really the reason many people in America know where Dodge City, Kansas is.
This is true.
And I know what your favorite part was.
I know you know what my favorite part was.
The longhorns.
I mean, especially seeing them go right down the middle of Main Street. I mean, that's something you just don't see every day. That's what we love about doing Small Town Big Deal for you, showing you things that you just don't see every day.
That's right. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl.
Join us again next week when once again we celebrate the great stories from across America. Here in Dodge City, it's all about the
We're talking about the inspiration. What am I supposed to say? That was so good, Rodney.
So I come under it?
Yeah, okay, unless you can go over the top.
No.
All right, come under. Yeah, real low. There you go. All right, you're in.
We're all a little bit different, aren't we not?
Oh my gosh, this one? Where do I stop?
I bet.
You just shoved me.
You just stop it right now.